Welcome to Big Flick Energy. From the day I released this video, it is 84 days from the release of Thor Love and Thunder, which is insane because we don't even have our first trailer yet. By the time the first Thor Ragnarok trailer came out, it literally ended saying coming soon, because they had no idea what the actual release date would be, as it ended up being about a year later. Now with this film, while we don't have a trailer yet, I think I know why, and it all comes down to the villain of Thor Love and Thunder, Gor the God Butcher. So Gor the God Butcher is basically this alien who became the God Butcher in the comics because he lost everything on his planet and the gods did nothing to protect his family nor his planet. So he basically took out all his rage on the gods. Now how was he going to do this? He was just a simple alien, he didn't have any abilities. Now, he got kind of lucky. He walked in on this fight between gods. There were like these golden gods fighting against Null, who is the god of the symbiotes. The sword from Null left him because Null lost the fight. Now, the sword was basically the first symbiote actually, which is pretty strange. So now we're in this situation where the sword fuses with Gor and he realizes he has the power of the gods now. So he's going to take out the gods. While this seems like a pretty interesting origin, I don't think this is what's going to go down in the film. So the first reason I think this is because Null is the god of symbiotes, like I mentioned, meaning that he's related to Venom, meaning that he's related to Spider-Man. And since Spider-Man rights go to Sony, I don't think Disney would have the rights to this character. So unless if Sony and Disney work something out, Null cannot show up in this movie. That's why I think they're going to go a different path with Gor's origin. We have seen this done in the past where, first off, we have Hela, who literally had a different origin made for her. And now we also have Miss Marvel, where she has a completely different power set. So considering they're already changing how Gor is going to look in this movie, it makes sense to me for them to switch the origin a little bit. So there are three other characters I could see pushing for Gor to get the All Black the Necrosword. So the first one is Hela, which is obvious given her weaponry in Thor Ragnarok was inspired by Gor, and it even looks like she uses a similar looking sword. So they can play it off as something that's more interconnected for the previous Thor movies, or they can go more interconnected for previous MCU properties like Eternals, where perhaps the gods Gor is mad at for not protecting are actually just Eternals. We know that every planet is supposed to get these Eternals to protect them from deviants, and they will not protect in any other cases. So it makes sense for Gor to realize that they're only there for one purpose, and he gets mad saying, okay, why are they not protecting us from these other things? This could make sense considering Null in the comics actually killed a Celestial, so they can actually tie it in pretty smoothly. Even in Earth, they consider Cersei and some of these other Eternals to be gods. So it's possible that he looks at them as gods and he considers the gods to be the problem, when in reality it was just the Eternals not helping out. Now the problem with both of these is neither one gives a proper explanation why, despite press tours and toy sales starting for the film, we have no trailer despite the film being released in under 3 months. The reason the Thor trailer has taken so long to come out is because it would spoil the biggest threat for Multiverse of Madness, Cathon. Now this is 2 videos in a row where I mentioned Cathon, but it's starting to make a lot of sense, and I'm starting to believe Cathon will be the next Avengers level threat in the MCU. Cathon is the god of chaos and helped indirectly create the Darkhold. The book Wanda, a character we were told is using chaos magic, now has. Cathon seems to have this looming presence on this Multiverse of Madness movie, and even on Moon Knight, where Isaac's character or characters have been described as chaos in the show by Harrow, and promotions for the show. Moon Knight is actually a show which also deals with the gods, which I wouldn't be surprised if we see Gor make an appearance in maybe the final scene of the final episode as an end credit scene, just to tease Thor Love and Thunder, to show him killing one of the gods that we literally just saw in the previous episode. Given Multiverse of Madness is only 2 hours long, and so much already appears to be happening in this film, I don't see how they could introduce a big bad in the third act that wasn't expected. There just isn't enough time, and it would feel kind of repetitive given the first Doctor Strange film literally did that with Dormammu. This character doesn't have time to get a proper welcome. but perhaps showing Cathon in the end credits for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and set up his future as a major antagonist in the MCU would make a lot of sense. Now, they could do Gor for Moon Knight maybe. I'm not saying they will, that's a completely separate theory, but I do think Cathon being set up in the end credits of Multiverse of Madness makes more sense. Now, I don't think Cathon will be the big bad of Thor Love and Thunder, but he could definitely be the cause of Gor's killing spree, where either he's the only god to support Gor by helping him ensue chaos by giving him the Necro Sword, or he caused chaos in Gor's homeworld, resulting in Gor's hatred towards the gods. Either one would make sense to me. Perhaps the trailer shows what created the villain of Gor, and they saw a huge spoiler in the trailer, so they had to hold it back until Multiverse of Madness comes out. I mean, Thor Ragnarok's first trailer showed Hela destroying Thor's hammer Mjolnir, and it showed Hulk. If a teaser trailer shows that, Love and Thunder's first trailer would probably reveal some big things as well, which they may not want the audience to see before their next film comes out. In my previous episodes on the Midnight Suns, I mentioned how the team seems to be setting up the same villain of Cathon, but he would be too large of a threat for that project. I genuinely think these two videos support each other really well, as both establish this major antagonist by showing he is looming and causing chaos, but they leave him around until the Marvel heroes finally realize to stop the chaos, they need to stop Cathon. Also, while filming this episode, I just realized that in one of the images I put of one of the toys, we see Gor the God Butcher's hands, and he has black fingertips, and I kind of remembered that's kind of what happened to Agatha when she was using the magic of the Darkhold, and even in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, we've seen clips from the trailers of her fingertips being black as well. So who knows, maybe that also alludes to Cathon being behind Gor and his chaos. Now, this has been said to be the biggest Thor movie, and maybe by releasing the trailer they fear that they may take away from some of the hype from Multiverse of Madness. But look, they already sold the tickets for that movie, so I don't think people are going to lose hype over it. It's already going to be a huge movie. If you have hype for it, you're going to watch it, even if another trailer looks like it's going to be a better film. So I honestly don't see any other explanation except for something in this film of Multiverse of Madness or in Moon Knight alludes to something that happened in Thor Love and Thunder, so it would be a spoiler for one of the projects, which I think would either be Gor's presence in Moon Knight or Cathon's presence in Multiverse of Madness. So I cannot wait for this. I hope that you guys are excited as I am, and I can't wait to keep on talking to you guys about this. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification, and see you next time on Big Flick Energy.